My daughter made me pay for her wedding deposit, but she wrote a very hurtful post thanking her stepdad, so I dropped from being her ATM and watched her wedding crumble into pieces. I have 3 children with my ex Tracy, Michael, Linda, and Victoria. We split because Tracy had an affair with Stan, to whom she is now married. We never shared with the kids the reason for the divorce, as I didn't want them to blame either of us. This backfired as the kids saw their mom move out of the house into a small apartment, and I kept living in the house and remarried 2 years after the divorce. So they saw me as the bad guy. Stan and Tracy let them pretty much do whatever they wanted, and I had to be the disciplinarian who made sure homework was done, appointments were made, and deadlines were met. My 2 oldest children eventually realized that I was not the bad guy. My son found out that his mother had put nothing away for college for him as outlined in our divorce decree, and she told him to take out loans. My daughter realized that her grades would keep her out of her desired school program. My youngest never came around, so it was a surprise when her boyfriend asked for my blessing and asked for her hand. When I expressed that I didn't think she'd care about my blessing, he said she insisted on it. She began spending time with me and being polite to my wife, and it felt wonderful to have my daughter back. I went with them to book the venue, and they'll be getting married next summer. I paid the deposit and the first installment. I noticed she was becoming less communicative again recently, ignoring my texts or giving one-word replies and not coming over as much. On Monday, my son sent me a post from Instagram. My youngest had an engagement party this weekend to which I was not invited. One of the photos was her with Stan, and it read, "Anyone can be a father. It takes a real man to be a dad. This amazing guy has been my dad for 15 years even though he didn't have to be. I am so blessed to have him walk me down the aisle next year. #daddy'sgirl #future My kids wanted for nothing their entire lives because I never let them go without. Even when they wouldn't talk to me, I made sure their needs were met. I texted Tracy to ask why I was not included. She replied that Victoria didn't want my wife there because she wanted a drama-free day. My wife has never started drama in her life. I asked if Stan and I would both be walking her down the aisle. Tracy didn't respond, but Victoria called me up, demanding to know what my problem was. I repeated my question, and she replied that no, Stan, her dad, would be walking her down the aisle. I told her that if that's what she wanted, I would be fine with it. I told her to let Stan know the next payment for the wedding is due in November. Stan and Tracy do not have the money for this wedding and think I'm being an asshole. Linda says Victoria will never speak to me again if I do this. Michael is on my side. Update: Victoria is having a hard time planning the wedding without the money I was giving her. Tracy told me that she and Stan are struggling to pay for everything. They have to make tough choices, cutting down the guest list, choosing a cheaper venue, and giving up on some of the fancy details Victoria wanted. It's clear the money problems are making things very stressful for her. Stan, even though he's trying, just doesn't have the money to pay for the wedding Victoria wants. Watching them deal with this is hard. I feel sad and frustrated. I want to support my daughter, but it hurts that she chose Stan to walk her down the aisle instead of me. Lately, I've noticed that Victoria is trying to be nice to me again. She's sending more messages, being unusually kind, and even visiting. But I won't be fooled again. I remember how she pushed me aside after I paid for the wedding deposit and the first installment. I won't let myself be used just because she needs my help now. As I go through this, my heart feels heavy. I never wanted it to be like this.